Hi watch friends, and thanks for tuning in again. My name is Dick, and before we are going to start off with the review, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you who has been supporting me and my channel by watching my videos and by subscribing to my channel. I know that there are channels with well over 50,000 subscribers or even more, but 500 subscribers was a real milestone for me personally, and this is all thanks to you guys. So your support means a lot, and this really makes a positive difference for the channel. I'm committed to continuing to improve the quality of my content that you enjoy and hopefully find valuable. So thanks everybody, dank jullie wel allemaal. Now let's get back to the watch and kick things off with a Cartier Crash. Do you know the Cartier Crash? Here it is on the screen. Beautiful, is it not? But the price tag of the Cartier Crash is a big elephant in the room. I've looked it up on Chrono24 and prices starts at well over $200,000. Ouch. And because I don't think that the wife would appreciate it if I sold the house for a watch, I always will admire it from afar. But recently I got my hands on a watch that can give you a similar feel when looking at the case. Now I'm talking about the Pedral Artifact. So yeah, today we are going to take a good look at this watch so we can try and figure out why it made me personally think of the iconic Cartier Crash without being a copy or a homage. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. Okay, first impressions. Well, firstly I want to point out a couple of special details of the case here from the Pedral Artifact. Artifact, damn, even the name is very cool. But yeah, the first thing that stands out is of course the very uniquely shaped bezel and the dial design that looks very organic, but without losing the symmetrical characteristics of the overall look. And this creates a very recognizable and strong brand identity for this watch. Just to be clear, the Pedral Artifact is by no means a Cartier Crash homage, but the case of the artifact is just reminiscent of that particular Cartier, for me at least. The shape is totally different, but it has the same organic characteristics as can be seen on the Crash. It looks like if the stainless steel was melted a little, which gives it these organic shapes. If I must describe the shape, it comes closest of an octagon form, but with round shape instead of sharp angles. I find it absolutely amazing to see if a designer creates something new and unique, and that is definitely the case here with the artifact. The designer and owner of this micro brand, by the way, is Kevin Pedral, a very bright and creative person that is very passionate about horology. Kevin is the type of guy that don't follow trends, but he creates his own. And that reflects very much back here into the design of the Pedral Artifact. And you have to congratulate him with creating an original and attractive design that could definitely become a future classic. Now that I have tried to explain the shapes and the feeling that the artifact has given me personally, let us take a look at the materials, sizes and finishing of the case of the Pedral. We have an integrated bracelet style case made out of 316L stainless steel with a hardness coating of 800 Vickers. The transition from the case into the bracelet looks seamlessly and very elegant. It is definitely a sports watch, but designed with the same elegant design marks as we can see with brands like Cartier. Comparing this with my Tissot PRX with the 40mm case, the bracelet from the artifact falls straight down, whereas with the Tissot the bracelet sticks out much more with the first links. This makes a big positive difference for the artifact with the wearability on wrist. It also adds to the comfort and it makes the watch very suitable for smaller wrist sizes as well, without any overhang. On my 6.7 inch wrist, the case and bracelet bends around the wrist beautifully. The organic shapes continues here on top of the case and at the side. The round shape curves beautifully inwards where the case finds the integrated bracelet. At the top section and lower section on the side of the case we find a polished beveling that continues into the bracelet where it finds the butterfly clasp at the bottom. Most parts of the case have a fine vertically brushed finishing that is very in keeping with the sporty character of the watch. Crafted with precision and attention to detail, the case of the Pedral Artifact is a work of art in itself. The bezel has a certain flow to it with beautiful curves and bends. The top side of the bezel has a vertical brushing to add to that sportiness, and at the side of the slow bezel we have a polished finishing. Its resemblance to the Cartier Crash for me personally is evident, yet it exudes its own unique and more sporty and contemporary personality. The seamless integration of the bracelet adds to its allure, creating a harmonious silhouette that is both timeless and contemporary at the same time. Covering the measurements, we see a nice slim case with a height of 11.2 mm and the diameter of the dial is 39.5 mm. And the lock-to-lock is a compact 47.5 mm. And don't be fooled by its dressy and softer appearance. This is a capable sport watch with a water resistance of 100 meters. The dial then. Well, this is where the magic truly happens. The Pedral Artifact boasts a mesmerizing aventurine dial that sparkles like a starlit sky on a clear night. Also, when the sunlight hits the dial, it is spectacular. It's a spectacle of sparkling little lights that keeps you entranced. But there's more to this dial than meets the eye. Pay close attention and you'll discover the delicate intricacies, including the logo that is integrated into the tip of the hour and minute hands. The seconds hand follows the railroad minute track and has a nice arrow pointer on the tip that is filled with BGW9 Superluminova. The only printing on the dial can be found at the 6 o'clock position, where we find the word automatic in crisp white letters, and at the 12 o'clock position we find the applied brand name with a polished silver finish. Following the edge of the dial we can find a crisp and contrasting white railroad minute track, and we have the applied hour markers that are also filled with BGW9, and these markers catches the light very well because each hour marker has 8 facets that reflects the light back to the beholder, and at the cardinal points of the dial we can find the numerals in a very attractive font, which are also filled with the Swiss BGW9 Superluminova. If we then take a further look, we can see the integrated bracelet of the Pedral Artifact, which is very refined in terms of finishing. Each link is meticulously crafted with high polished beveling on the edges that catch the light with every movement. Also we can see that each link has a polished facet on the upper and underside, which gives it a more dynamic play with the light. The bracelet has an elegant taper to it that starts with 22 mm from the case down to 18 mm to the clasp. The butterfly clasp ensures a secure and comfortable fit, while the combination of brushed and polished finish adds depth and dimension to the whole design. I can happily report that half links will be included with the watch, so finding the perfect fit shouldn't be a problem, and for sizing the bracelet we can find a pin and color system. At the heart of the Pedral Artifact beats the reliable Japanese Myoda 1939 movement. It is easy and cheap to service, and it has a very smooth beat rate of 4 Hz. It also has a power reserve of 42 hours, is accurate to -10 up to +30 seconds per day, and it is displayed under a screw-down sapphire glass caseback. The movement will be decorated with Geneva striping and a gorgeous looking skeletonized rotor with the logo of Pedral. Operating the movement we can find the push-pull crown, which is smooth and easy to operate because it sticks just enough out of the case. The knurling is grippy and we can see their logo etched onto the crown. So now that we have covered most of the details, let us take a look at the lume of the Pedral Artifact. I want to add that this is a prototype, so the Lume is poor at best here. But I had a phone call with Kevin and he assured me that the production version of the artifact will have BGW9 Superluminova on the hands, markers and numerals. So the Lume will be much improved for the production version and the color will be the same on all surfaces. So the Pedral Artifact is now live on Kickstarter and you can check out all the versions here with many cool dial color options. And yeah, Kevin also mentioned that he will have 100 additional aventurine dials available for just 299 euros as a celebration of being selected as Project We Love on Kickstarter. So that's a very attractive offering in my opinion. If you are going to back this project, then you can expect a delivery of your watch in October 2024. In conclusion, the Pedral Artifact could be a great and affordable alternative to some of the watches from Cartier. But in reality, the Pedral Artifact offers its own charm and design with round and playful curves and shapes and without throwing the symmetry overboard. From the case to the bracelet, every aspect of the Pedral Artifact is very well finished. The attention to detail is evident in every curve and contour. I can imagine that this isn't a straightforward case to produce with the complex angles of the case, bezel and the sapphire crystal. In that regard, I see this watch as a mechanical work of art, and that is why it is so reminiscent to the Cartier Crash, for me at least personally. On top of all this watch can be bought for just 299 euros, if you're quick enough of course, because when the Kickstarter campaign ends on the 30th of April, the standard price will be 639 euros. So if you are interested, then I would advise to check out the Kickstarter campaign in the link down below. And yeah, if you have questions about the Pedral Artifact, then put them in the comments and I would gladly try to answer them for you. And if you want to see one of my other reviews, then you can click somewhere over here or here. And once again, my name is Dick, thank you for watching and I will see you all on the next one. Bedankt voor het kijken, goed weekend.